3-week cruise around the islands. We spent about 3 days at the Marina Mindelo, which was cool. Charged up the batteries, filled up with water, fixed up the dinghy, took a couple of nice showers. It was nice to be in the luxury of the marina, but it's a little expensive, so that's why we only spent 3 days there. And we just took off this lovely afternoon. This time the crew is just me and Natacha. She's at the helm. It's good practice for her. She's going downwind. I'm zigzagging a little bit. She's trying to concentrate, but I think this is good for her to helm and to get a good grasp of Galoipin. Conditions are great. A little hazy from the Sahara dust. So go, Natacha.
I wanted her to helm the whole way. It's the best way to learn, to get the feel. Meanwhile, I turned on the radio to add rhythm. This Cape Verde music is called Kizomba. Listen to the words carefully. We got radio reception all the way across, but no fish. Conditions were ideal. 14 knots downwind and hardly any waves. Sun was shining and it was warm. And the music played on. As we rounded the point, the wind is at our back, dead aft, so I furled to Genoa. A good exercise for a rookie like Nat to keep from jibing. She had been doing well, helmed several hours. Her grasp was so hard on the helm, she got cramps. To her, helming Galoipin was like driving a big truck in a mall parking lot.
C'est un camion.
Ouais, un camion. Ça y est, les crampes sont passées.
Ouais.
C'est bon.
Eventually she loosened her grip and the cramps went away. But she relaxed too much too soon, lost concentration in her grip. The wind suddenly shifted as we rounded the island and bam! We jibed, and something did not jive. I heard a loud crack when the boom went over. Turns out we busted 2 pulleys that held the boom brake line leading to the roof cleats. I then realized the roof cleats were perhaps not ideal for that. But the cockpit cleats next to the winches were. It turns out to be a much better solution. Always learn something from your mistakes. We motored just as the sun was setting and it was cooling. We were approaching calm, beautiful Tarafal, one of the few places on the islands always shielded from the dominant trade winds.
Simao,
Prazer enorme.
el capitán das port. He's the harbor master. Harbor master, entrepreneur. He has this great place here. He makes grog and music. And this is where you come to give your papers when you arrive here. And at the same time, you can have, Creole pizza.
Estrela criolla.
You're supposed to check into authorities when you land on a new island. Tarafal is pretty isolated, so Simao multitasks. Harbor master, barman, beer connoisseur, and grog dealer.
This is Cape Verdean welcome.
And we wanted to see just how they make this famous grog. So we hiked up to the distillery. It's managed by just a few people.
Aqui uma fábrica de Grogue.
Claro.
Fábrica de aguardente. Aí é um alambique.
Alambique, ok?
Alambique para fazer o Grogue.
Ok, vale.
Água para frescar.
Ah, para frescar, porque es caldo.
They basically feed the fire under the alembic still, fill the still with fermented sugarcane juice, and wait for the magic. We met Oswald, who manages the distillery, and Natacha took an instant liking to his beautiful green eyes.
Ouais, chérie, il est trop beau lui. C'est pas mon mari, c'est Amisa de Voyage.
Ah oui. Ici c'est une petite machine.
This is the cane press.
Oui, pour faire les jus. Avec moi. Viens avec moi pour le ici.
And then he brought us to the fermentation cellar.
La fermentation dépassait 12 jours.
I could taste the alcohol brewing in this fermented juice, which will eventually go into the alembic still.
E coloca alambique. Vem ver.
This is where they stored juice that was ready to go into the still next.
Aquele já está pronto para alambique. Para capim.
Aham.
Licença, vem. E depois mete fogo.
Distilled at its beautiful magic, and slowly the grog comes out cooled by fresh water stored in large antique tanks directly into 20-liter glass bottles. Nat had a brilliant idea, which was obviously brewing in my head.
Tes bouteilles, on va venir se fournir ici. Hein.
Ouais. Natasha's got the hots for the grog maker.
Bon, si. C'est pas le même goût qu'on achète là-bas à Saint-Michel.
Não, será totalmente diferente. Ici, será uma fábrica que é 100% bio. Fazer fertilização é com folhagem de cana, com folha de cana, com bagaço, com cocô de animal. Não tem química.
Ah! Je suis sûre que celui qui vend Saint-Michel est coupé avec quelque chose. C'est différent.
Sabe?
Compreendeste?
Il est différent.
Fuerte. Compreendeste?
Pero bom. Não africano, é um francês. Heartbreaker.
While Natasha flirted, I brought my empty bottle to be filled by Chief of Still.
The real thing, man. This is real grog. And from the original, where they make it. The distillery. Tarafal de Santa Antao. Muito bom.
100% alto.
100% orgânico, original.
Muito bom.
Later, Oswald invited us on a tour he had organized with a couple of tourists. He showed us the abandoned reservoirs built by the Portuguese.
Fazer uma negociação para fazer aqui museu.
That would be an interesting architectural challenge to make this into a grog museum. Further up, Oswald proudly overlooked the land where he and his ancestors have been living and farming sugarcane.
Esta é a minha terra.
Irrigated by a complex network of streams fed by natural springs, this is an oasis of organic farming.
Pretty amazing.
Eu sou feliz na minha terra.
These guys are living off the land. All you hippie folks who want to live like these guys, look at these guys live like this every day. Okay, and they drink grog.
We went to see our friends from our last visit and invited them for an afternoon cruise on Galoipin. Pish had wanted to do that before, but we just did not have the time. Natacha handed out some of my cheap sunglasses to add glamour to my actors. She found the perfect pair for Alex's dad, Umberto, who was so proud to be at the helm. I let most of them keep the cheap $5 sunglasses. They're proud of their island oasis and quick to point out some favorite local attractions.
Alex just pointed out the rock formation. It's the vagina of Tarafal.
Tarafal. Montrigo. Estamos chegar em Montrigo.
We are at the nearest village to theirs, inaccessible by car and entirely powered by solar energy. And as well, they have their own Grogue distillery.
¿Te van a dar? ¿Por qué? ¿Van a dar? No.
Alex, Natacha, c'est bien. C'est la fiche. C'est la fiche.
We bought some rolls and made tuna fish sandwiches. They had never had those before. Umberto told Natacha that in all the years of yachts anchoring in our bay, no one had ever invited them aboard, let alone for a cruise. I turned up the music. You have no idea how happy it made me to share this moment with this crew, to see such happiness from just cruising around for a few hours, having a few drinks and sandwiches. I hope that any cruisers who sees this and plans to visit Tarafal will be inspired. They welcome you in their lands, so please welcome them aboard. I doubt you'll be disappointed. Tarafal is warm and sheltered from the wind, which is not the case on the other islands, something Natacha and I will confirm.
Violent wind, man. Crazy. I don't know if we'll be able to anchor here. We have no choice. Shit. Insane wind. We averaged about 30 knots most of the way down. Peaked at 40. Well, actually 39.7, but, you know, probably hit 40 at some point. It's pretty crazy. Now we're motoring to go anchor here over at Sao Pedro. But Jesus. I don't know, it's going to be interesting. Pretty windy.